Hey Omid, this is Kay. How's it going?
Not too bad. Yourself?
We're very good, Omid. This is Zio. Nice to have you here with us.
Hey, Zio. Thank you for having me.
Sure, Omid. And again, thanks for taking the time on this weekend of yours. So let's go back to the very beginning on how exactly this started. How did you actually find binary options, and when was it? Can you give us a year or something like that?
Actually, it was about a year and 3-4 months ago. It was April of 2015. I actually got a call from one of the representatives, and it seemed like it was more like an advertising. But she gave me information about how the business works, and I told her that I'll get back to her. And she called me back the next day, and I did a little bit of research myself. I went on the website. At that point, I guess it was my fault. I should have researched a little bit more. I didn't really find any. I didn't research in terms of any reviews. I didn't look at any reviews. I should have. The next day she called back and she said, if you invest $500 with me today, you can start at very low, and I'll give you $250 of bonus cash. This is where it all started, and I wish I never took that step to begin with. So it started off as a phone call for sure.
And because normally what we see is that clients or users or traders that end up in your position, they find some sort of lucrative video online or some sort of website pop-up that takes them through a video which convinces them that, okay, this awesome auto trader or awesome signal service is going to make them a lot of money in the next few weeks. All they have to do is deposit at X broker. But you're saying you were just called out of the blue for a money-making opportunity. Is that right?
Absolutely, yes. It was just a straight call out of nowhere.
That's interesting.
Okay. Did you ask how they got your number?
I did, but he said that we just have a list of people's number, and we just call them. Whoever's interested, we go forward. She didn't really say where the number came from exactly. No.
And can I ask, what were you doing at that point in your life? I mean, what is your background, if you don't mind telling us?
Oh, I'm a chemical engineer, and I work for the government of one of the provinces in Canada.
Okay, and you were probably earning okay at that point. So was this just something you said, okay, I could make some money on the side, it seems exciting, let me put $500?
Yeah, just some extra cash, and maybe I can get into the stock market. In this case, binary options, which was kind of new to me, but I was like, okay, I'll give it a chance.
A question, Omid. Sorry, did they offer you also either training or signals or something, or would you have to do the trades by yourself?
No, it was supposed to be. It was done through an account manager.
Okay, so your account manager would take some trades on your behalf?
Would take some trades on my behalf, and would also show me of how to trade. So he would. The first account. So I've had actually 4 account managers with OptionsXO. The first one was legitimately good. He actually showed me some stuff within the binary options world and the platform, and he actually had a few training sessions with him over Skype. But for the most part, he would tell me, he's like, okay, Omid, I have something new here. We have some good opportunities. Would you like me to trade? And I'd be like, okay, if that's the case, tell me more about it. And then if I'm comfortable with it, then yes, go ahead. But yeah, it was mostly through the manager, yes.
So this was obviously, just to make sure, this was OptionsXO, the brokerage, and the first account manager, basically you felt was legitimate. He taught you a little bit about the sector, and he would pitch investment ideas your way, and then only take them after your approval. Is that right?
Well, sometimes he would just make trades and be like, hey, Omid, we made some cash, and give me a call back. But for the most part, like we would talk maybe once every other day, maybe for like 10-15 minutes, and tell me about the market for the day. And he would also train me on how to trade, And he's like, when I'm not around, you can trade yourself. But for the most part, the big trade he would do himself, yeah. And not that he was doing it in my benefits. I later realized that most of the time he would lose, but then exchange my actual capital with bonus cash, which can't be withdrawn from the account.
Okay.
So they were technically just taking the money for themselves and then just replacing it with the bonus cash.
That you cannot take out. So you cannot withdraw.
What's that?
They were replacing your real money with bonus money that you cannot withdraw, basically.
That's exactly right, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
And
that's actually the first
yeah,
time I've heard this. Okay.
Yeah, and I found out about that bonus money, 7-8 months after. I was not really aware of how this worked, and the reason for that I didn't know was because he never really explained it, and I didn't really know what the meaning behind bonus cash was. The way he explained it to me was bonus money is just extra money that you can work with. But it's not that you can withdraw it, obviously, and I knew that. But I didn't know that every time he would lose money, it would go off my actual capital, and bonus money remains the same on the account. So he would just, every time any trade that failed would go off my actual capital, but then he would reimburse me with bonus money.
So you thought your account was flat or growing?
Exactly.
Wow, that's very interesting.
Okay, that's actually really interesting, and that's probably the first time we've come across. So it's almost an evolution of the scam, isn't it? At least first they blow your account. They're like, okay, you have nothing left. You have a bigger bonus. Deposit more. But in this case,
exactly what happened.
Wow. Okay, so they were actually replacing it, and this is what I'm always worried about. Josh mentions this also about risk-free trades, right? It's the same thing. They basically force you to take risk-free trades. They're not actually risk-free because once you lose them, they replace it with bonus, and that bonus.
Replace it with bonus.
Yeah, and that bonus is basically locks in your capital. That's what happened to your capital, right? You were not able to even withdraw the equity.
That's correct. And for that bonus to be able to be withdrawn, you have to trade, like, let's say for example, if they give you $10,000 of bonus, you have to trade like $200,000 worth of value for that trade, for that bonus to be able to be withdrawn.
Yep. Okay.
And by the time someone trades that, they probably blow their account.
Awesome. Exactly, and by that time, your whole account is, reduced to zero. So the money's gone.
So I mean, when did you? So how? Okay, at the beginning it seems pretty benign. Allow me to say $500, okay, $750 with bonus. You said 7 months later, but fast forward, when did things start to go wrong? I mean, at what point did you start to get?
It went wrong. So, by the way, this account manager's name was Mark Browne.
Mark Browne. Okay.
Mark Browne with an E at the end.
Yeah, and they're so creative. These.
Oh, they're very creative with their. Yeah, very creative with their names. Just to fast forward a little bit, he made me invest a little bit more, so I invested another $4,500. He's like, $500, you can't really do much with it, but now that you understand how the system works, invest a little bit more so that I have a little bit more to work with.
Okay.
At that point, he was making trades on his part. I was making small trades on my part with his little bit of training. I was making like $10, $20, $25, $50 trades. He was making $1,000, $1,500, $2,000 trades.
So basically, no concept of risk management, right? I mean, he's trading 20% of your account.
Nothing. No concept of risk management. Absolutely not.
Did you mention this to him?
No, he's just like, yeah, don't worry. This is just the way it works. You'll regain your money. Don't worry. I'll work with you. Like I'm your broker. I'm your account manager. We'll work together. The thing is, it sounds silly, but they're very, very, very persistent, and they're very persuasive, and I feel like they've had, months and months of training on just how to speak to people and, persuade them in the right way. They do a fantastic job at that.
To be honest, I agree, but I also saw some of your latter videos. I forget the name of these people's names. You know, it's like musical chairs. But some guy called John Swift or something.
Oh yeah. The story gets a lot more interesting when he comes around.
Yeah, exactly. But you were pretty good with him. I mean, you took him to task properly. I mean, his suaveness and his kind of vocab. At that point, I think you were so peed off that you.
Well, that was about 7, 8, almost 8 months later, 9 months later, dealing with these crooked liars. It just got to me because at that point I had no trust left in them. Right? I had already done my research. I read a bunch of reviews. I was on Forex Peace Army. I don't know if you guys have probably heard of them.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are scammed left and right with different binary options, and it just got to me. I'm just disappointed that I've realized so late into this tragedy.
Yeah.
And I at that point I just wanted my money back. That's all I wanted, and I didn't want to cause a scene for him to just block my account and not pick up my calls. So I tried to be as nice as possible, but at the same time very direct, so that I can just get my money back. Because I know I've heard stories where people were like, oh, they blocked my account, they took all my money, and eventually that's what happened to me. But I tried to take a different avenue.
Okay, Omid, let's get back chronologically, right? Let's take it back to the point that you deposited 4,500 and you started to the same account manager, correct?
Brown.
Right. Yeah. So
what happened with
long story short, I had $5,000 in there, and later he convinced me that I should open another. That was a U.S. account, by the way. He convinced me to open a pounds account. And the reason for that was because he's like, I believe that the U.S. market will crash and your money will dissipate. So it would make sense for us to transfer all your money to the pounds account and work with pounds currency. And we went back and forth about a month before I actually opened up a pounds account. And he's like, in order for me to transfer the money that you have on your U.S. account to the pounds account, due to money laundering purposes, you need to put some funds into the pounds account first so that it's balanced, it's equal, and then I will transfer your US account to your pounds account, and then whatever money that you put into your pounds account temporarily you can withdraw. I was like, okay, if that's the case, no problem, I will do that, but only if you promise me that I can withdraw, because I don't want to work with so much money. I don't want to invest that much money. I'm okay with that, $5,000-6,000 that I have in there.
How much money did he ask you to deposit to the GBP account?
So if I remember correctly, it was around $10,000 pounds.
Sorry?
10,000 pounds.
10,000 pounds. So wow.
Well, at that exchange rate at that time, it's more.
15?
More, yeah, because the British pound fell after Brexit, so almost 50.
Oh yeah, it was really high. It was like 1.5.
Yeah, but
it was like 1.5. 1.5 times.
It's funny, as you were telling me this story, my blood is curdling. I'm actually getting angry. At the broker at this moment. I'm just, I'm furious that first of all, they're pretending to know foreign exchange arbitrage. An account manager who's never worked a day in an investment bank certainly purports to have FX arbitrage skills. So he's actually trying to help you say, the U.S. market will crash. The dollar apparently is going to go to zero, so you need to move to pound. As if the pound wouldn't be affected if the U.S. economy fell.
Exactly.
I mean, what nonsense. I guess my question at this stage is, and obviously sorry to interrupt, is you're a chemical engineer. At this point, surely you would have said, look, there are a few red flags here. I mean, before you part with $15,000 of your own cash, aren't you at least going to do a Google search on Options XO or whoever the broker is to see if this is legit, if money laundering laws really require this?
I didn't, and again, it is my fault as much as it is theirs. So I definitely blame myself for, going so deep into this, for sure. And I still blame myself for what I've done.
Right.
No doubt. I don't blame Options XO alone. I blame myself as well for being lured into this so deep.
Yeah.
For sure, and you have every right to ask that question, and I didn't. That was my fault.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, look, I mean, I've been scammed in different ways, also in financial fraud. It happens to all of us. I guess we just don't see it while we're in the thick of it. So, in hindsight, it's like, how on earth could I have ever done that? Okay, so this happened, and you made the transfer, and I guess that's when the game really got.
That's when it really started, and that's when it got really fishy.
Right.
Because obviously I never got that money returned back to my account, to my credit card.
Yeah.
Now I'm working with 2 accounts, and this is when it got a little bit more interesting because Mark Brown disappeared.
Sorry, what disappeared?
Mark Brown disappeared.
He's like he disappeared for about a month, claiming that his mom's sick. He was only emailing. His mom's sick and he needs to be with his mom. He's having some family personal issues, so please give him a little bit of time until he comes back to the office. And at first, I was like, okay, no problem, take your time. Whenever you're ready, come back to the office and we'll work together. But when you come back, please transfer my accounts and return my money back, because I'm not paying any more interest every month. I took out $10,000, or sorry, £10,000 from my credit card, and I want it returned immediately.
Sorry, just a question here, Omid. So this 10K that you moved was money that you borrowed from your credit card. It was not money that you already had saved.
No, these are all credit card money. None of this was my actual money. None of this was my savings. This was all credit card.
So I guess at this point, I mean, again, we're not trying to, it may come across this way, I'm not trying to corner you or anything. I think you've already admitted that part of it is your fault, you were naive, it's fine. But my point is, you're borrowing from your credit card, presumably maxing out your credit card. 10K is quite a big limit. And what was your thoughts that the gains on these investments you're making with this company will pay off the credit card interest and eventually the capital? Or was it that because you were employed at that time for the Canadian government or whatever you were doing, you thought your salary would be able to pay off the credit card debts? Is that what you were thinking? So that's
no. The $10,000 I was not ready to invest. The $10,000 was supposed to be temporary for a week.
Okay.
So I was supposed to get that back a maximum of 2 weeks after I invested.
Right.
So I wasn't ready to invest and max out my credit card and play with that online. Okay. For sure not. That $10,000 was and again, like I said, it was my fault for trusting him. I had a lot of trust in this guy because he was legitimately very trustworthy to begin with.
Right.
And then it went downhill.
I know what you mean. Okay, I understand what you mean. For what it's worth,
$10,000 was not supposed to be in game. This was supposed to be temporary, according to him, just so that he can transfer the money from one account to another, and then he would refund that back into my credit card.
Understood. And this is just to confirm, you were employed at this time. You were earning money, so I guess you were not so worried, or were you at that point not employed?
No, I was employed.
Okay, so during the day you were, I guess, busy doing whatever it is you do, and these things they preoccupied your mind in the evenings when you got home?
Actually, it was during lunchtime.
Okay, got it. Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
about an hour during my lunchtime doing this.
Wow, okay.
Okay, and what happened afterwards? This Mark Brown disappeared, and then...
Mark Brown disappeared.
Yep.
Another representative gave me a call. His name was Scott Green. Claimed to be the CEO of the company.
Scott Green, okay.
Scott Green, another fancy name.
Yeah.
This was about mid-September.
Yep.
Told me that Mark Brown is no longer working with the company due to his poor results and losing clients' money. I was like, what? Mark Brown said that he's having personal issues. He's like, no, he came back, but his results were really low, so we let him go. I'm like, okay, if that's the case, well, you need to pick up from where he left off, and you need to make the transfers happen because I have invested another £10,000 that I need to get back immediately. He said, okay, I'll introduce you to, because he's like, I'm not going to work with you, I'm just a CEO, I will introduce you to another broker, one of my own. His name is Glenn Nelson. That's the third rep.
Good.
Glenn Nelson.
Okay.
But it might be, yeah, who knows?
Okay, and what happened with this Glenn Nelson?
Glenn Nelson was my account manager from end of September to beginning of October until beginning of January. It's about 3 months. He said that I'm not going to return the money, and he's like, the reason is because I will work on both of your accounts and regain the losses that Mark Brown has lost on your accounts. I was like, what are you talking about? There are no losses. He's like, no, he's lost a lot of your money, and I will regain most of it back for you. So he's like, trust me, give me some time, I will do that for you. I was like, okay, I'm going to give you 10-15 days. And he did. And he actually made legitimate trades that were successful. Okay? You know, at that point, I think I probably had close to 40,000 Canadian dollars in both accounts combined.
Okay.
And
Omid, 1 second. I just want to get, so there's a bit of currency translation going on here. So just to confirm, you had $5,000 in your dollar account, and let's say $15,000 or 10,000 pounds. That's the equivalent in your British pound account. So
it was actually 12.5 pounds. That's how much I had.
12,500 pounds.
Yeah, 12,500.
So let's say around $17,000-18,000 in the pound account, dollar equivalent.
That's correct.
And $5,000 in your dollar account. Is that roughly right?
No, at that point, Mark Brown had made some trades, and there were a little bit of profits. So I had, I believe, close to 10,000 US.
You had 10,000 US in your dollar account, and you had around, let's say 18,000 US, or 12,000.
That's correct.
Okay, so almost around 28,000. Let's round to 30,000 US. And I don't know what the Canadian rate is, but okay. So overall,
at that point, it was equivalent to about 38, 39.
Okay, fine. All right. So you were break even now, plus a little bit more. You were actually in the plus at some point. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
So you were feeling good in this guy. You were actually like, wow, this guy is good. But how do you know that those gains he made weren't just bonus money then? Hiding more losses, he'd actually lost those trades and replaced them with real money.
Well, no, the bonus money said, with the bonus money, it was close to 60,000. So the bonus money was only about 20,000 of it.
Fine, okay. The bonus money being applied to the British pound account as well, I assume.
There was no bonus applied to the British pound at that British account. It was only to the US account.
Okay.
Sorry, Omid, I'm missing something. How did we get to 20K bonus money? Because I remember you just said that there were 5K in total that you had deposited in the US account. So
yeah, so the bonus money, the way it worked is he could apply bonus money at any time he wanted.
Okay.
So he's like, here, I'll just give you 5,000 bonus to work with. And with time, there was about approximately 20 for you. Let me check. I can give you let me see if I can find out how much exactly was there, because I've taken screenshots of all that stuff.
I think that's fine. I think we get the point. So he basically applied an arbitrary bonus at some point. So ultimately, he could have just applied bonuses and got.
Ultimately, he could have applied bonuses at any time he wanted.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So when you saw that again, what did you do? Did you ask for a withdrawal, or what happened?
So with Glenn Nelson, like I said, he convinced me to work with him, and he made some trades, some profit. He made some profits, and then this was about late October. Yeah. I told him, like, Glenn, can you please just refund my second investment that I made? I need it back, please. He's like, Omid, I will. Trust me. We've worked together for about 2.5, 3 weeks now, and you've made some profits. At that point, he got my trust, right? He made some profits, right? He's like, okay, please trust me. Give me till end of December. We will invest in Apple and gold. Apple with their iPhone, what was it? iPhone 6 that was coming. No, sorry, not iPhone 6. Apple Watch. Apple Watch.
Right.
That Apple Watch is going to come out, and Apple stock will soar, so it will increase. I'm like, okay, if you really think so, let's invest. So he invested a lot of the money from US, I believe it was around, again, I can't remember how much it was. I can try to find out for you, but it was a large amount from the US account and the British, the pounds account. Can you take a look?
Just a ballpark is fine.
It was around maybe around 25,000, about 25,000 US on the US account. Keep in mind, whenever he invested, he could also invest with the bonus money as well.
Yeah.
Right? But when you lose, you only lose your capital. You lose all your capital.
Right. So eventually what they're doing is any real capital equity in there, they're attributing to the losses and they're just replacing with gains. So over time, all your money there just becomes a bonus.
Exactly. So let's say hypothetically, if well, no, not hypothetically. Let's just say that I did have around 16,000 US after he made some profits. I think that's what I had, 16,000 US. Plus I had another 17,000 bonus. So that was around like 33,000 US. If he, let's say, invested 20,000 in one trade, my entire capital would be invested, plus the remaining from bonus.
Right, got it.
That makes sense. And then if that trade was a loss, my entire capital would be gone in that one trade. And I'd be left with nothing with bonus.
And you obviously had to go back and do these calculations and find out how much of your capital is still remaining and how much is bonus, because they don't split it, do they?
Well, no, they do split it. You can go on account information, and it tells you how much cash balance you have, how much bonus you have, how much is invested, and what is your total. Okay. So that information was visible and it was available for you.
So what view did this amazing quote-unquote trader take on the iWatch or the Apple Watch? What did he think? He thinks Apple would hit a dud, or what did he do? Did he take a short?
No, he said that it will increase. The stock will increase. I believe he bought it around 120.
Yeah.
By the end of December, as you guys know, I don't know if you guys follow it. It was around $105, $106. So it decreased quite a bit.
Okay.
So did gold. They both decreased.
Right.
So those two trades were failing miserably, and that was about maybe 80-90% of my capital.
Sorry, Omid, what was the expiry of those trades?
It was December 31st.
Right, so 1 month options?
1 month, yeah, it was exactly 1 month.
Interesting, okay.
At this point, I'm back at home, Christmas time with my parents. Went back to Toronto. I'm stressing out because it doesn't seem like they're going back up. There's a week left, and gold is down probably like $80-90, and Apple stock's down like $15-16 compared to when we bought it. There's no way it's gonna go back up, and I was nervous. And this is when Glenn Nelson was, Omid, buy the insurance. And this is all on Skype, like I have it all, saved. I'm like, what's insurance? He's like, yeah, you can buy an insurance where we would release your funds from the trade, so we will cancel the trades. So all your money will be back into your accounts.
What's the catch?
What's that?
What is the catch?
The catch is you have to buy the insurance, and insurance is, he's like, you have to buy 10,000 US dollars of insurance. But that insurance money will not be, will also go back into your account. You just have to invest essentially more so that we can cancel it. I was like, how does that work? How is that possible? It's like, no, so the insurance money that you put into your account will not be lost. It just allows us to cancel those two trades on Apple and gold. I'm like, okay, so if I don't invest in $10,000, I'm pretty much done because my accounts will be emptied. So it was a really hard decision for me, so I did. I actually wire transferred $10,000.
And this came from your credit card, which was maxed out, or from your savings?
No, this was from my saving.
Okay.
This was from my saving.
I mean, I'm actually feeling the pain now. So you're with your parents, you're with your family in Toronto during a period where people are actually relaxed and looking forward to the new year, and you're just having near sleepless nights.
I'm having the time of my life, okay, with just blowing money away like there's no tomorrow.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. And what happened?
It still makes me sick to my stomach when I talk about it every time. You know, sometimes I just want to like go in a corner and cry, but no, I can't do that. But you know, it is what it is. And anyways, let me go on.
Please.
So I invest. You know, I wire transfer the money, and you know, I see that both trades have been canceled. I was like, okay, that's good news. That is very good news. And then he said that, Omid, I would have to block your account. This is where it got really fishy. And after this, I had no more trust left in them. He said, Omid, your accounts will be blocked until after Christmas, after New Year's, and then your trades will be released. I'm like, okay, if that's the way it's done, then okay. He's like, you don't do any more trades because your accounts will be blocked. I'll call you back after New Year's. I'm like, okay. Have a nice day. Have a good year. New Year comes around. January, I believe it was 3rd or 4th. I keep emailing them about, hey Glenn, can you please open the account? It's January 3rd now. Why is the account still blocked? Have the money has the the trades been canceled? Have they been returned back into my account? Eventually, another representative calls me. This is where I lost it. This is when John Swift calls me.
Right.
John Swift calls me on January 8th, and he claims to be the CEO again. And he said that Glenn Nelson is no longer with the company due to his poor performance.
What happened to Scott Green?
This is when I yelled at him. I was like, how can one company have two CEOs? How can a company like Options XO keep firing brokerages if they have poor performance? Why am I the one that gets the ones that have poor performance? Why am I the one losing here?
Sorry to laugh. I agree. I'm just laughing at the situation.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, for sure. No, I understand. And he told me, he's like, I apologize. I'll do everything that's necessary to refund your money from both of your accounts. At this point, I was back to essentially what I invested into the accounts. I had no profit. I had maybe around $1,500 to $2,000 of profit. The rest was just all the money that I had invested myself.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Plus some bonus money, which I really didn't care about because I hadn't really earned them for me to withdraw. Okay. I was like, John, just return back my money. Money in both of the accounts. They're all my capital gains. I did not make any profit. I don't even want your damn profits. Just return back everything that I've invested, please.
And how much was this amount, the grand total now? What are we talking in dollars?
If I calculate it correctly, it's about $48,000 to $49,000 Canadian.
Fine, okay. Which is about 40,000 US, right? 35,000 US in that range?
Well, the US account had 13,000 US.
Okay.
And the pounds account had 16,500 pounds. So if you use the currency exchange to Canadian, that's around roughly 48.
Got it. Okay.
At that time, at that currency exchange for that time.
Okay. Understood. Okay.
Right. Because every day the Canadian dollar was getting lower due to the oil that was plummeting in world market, and at one point, Canadian dollar went from I believe it was like 81, 82 cents for each US dollar. It went down to 69. So if they were to refund my money, I would actually lose 12-13%.
Right. If they refund it in Canadian, is that correct?
Yeah. They do refund it back in US or pounds, But with my credit card, they do a currency exchange, right? My credit card does a currency exchange, so they revert it back into Canadian into my credit card.
Sure, sure.
So I lose anyway.
Right.
But I was okay with that. I was like, you know what? I made a huge mistake. I've been with them for about 8-9 months. I'm okay with losing $5,000-$6,000 of my money. Just return back everything else that I have.
Right.
I'm okay with losing $5,000. This whole mistake only cost me $5,000, $6,000. I have no problems with that. It was a big mistake I've done, and I'm okay with getting back, $42,000, $43,000 into my pocket, and $5,000-$6,000. You know what? It was okay, no problem. I was okay with that. I accepted that.
Makes sense. Okay, so you were ready to take the currency hit, and you were just waiting now, basically, to understand who on earth is John Swift, because you thought Green is the CEO. But now suddenly it's John Swift and Glen Nelson.
Glen Nelson at this point, I haven't heard from him. He's fired. He was let go because of his poor performance. So he's gone out of the picture too.
Right.
Okay, so there's only John Swift now.
I never heard of Mark Brown again, and I never heard of Glen Nelson again. So now I'm only dealing with John Swift.
Who's the
claims
CEO?
to be the CEO of Options XO.
Right, and just to be clear, Glen Nelson is the one that made you deposit this insurance, this 10K.
Hello?
Insurance?
Omid?
Hello?
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 Can you hear us, Omid?
Yeah, I can hear you fine now, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
Not sure what happened
There was
there.
some internet connection. Okay, so just to be clear, Glen Nelson, who is now a ghost, he's disappeared. He had actually got you to buy the insurance for 10K, correct?
Yep.
Okay, so fast forward sort of second week January, what happens then?
He later called me back, a couple of days later, told me that he can't refund the money, and his reasoning was that I have bonus money on the account and I must wager those first. I told him, are you fucking stupid? I have to invest close to $200,000-$300,000 for me to even wager that bonus money.
Yeah.
There's no way I can do that. I've been on this account for 8-9 months, and I've only wagered about maybe 10% of it. You're out of your mind.
Right.
I'm like, I want my money back today.
Yeah.
He's like, just give me a little bit of time. He's like, I have to get around the system. This was around maybe, mid-January. He's like, please give me until end of February. I promise I'll get your money back. I will not do any trades. I won't do anything. Just give me some time so I can sit on it. It was obvious that they just were delaying it at this point, right? And at this point I was researching around. This is when I found Forex Peace Army, and I made I wrote my whole story there, and I see that a bunch of people are being scammed by Options XO as well. At this point I knew that people are being scammed by other binary options, but I never found any cases from Options XO until I found Forex Army. I made some nasty comments about Options XO, that I lost so much money, crooked liars. I named all the representatives, all the brokerages.
Yeah.
At this point, John Swift gives me a call back. He's like, how could you do this? Why would you write something about this like that? I'm like, well, you're not giving my money back. I got to do something.
Right.
I gotta do something on my end because you're just avoiding me.
Right.
I'm like, you understand how much money I've invested? I'm like, how would you feel if I took $50,000 of your money, I had it in my pocket, and every day you called me and I told you, no, I'll give it back to you the next day. I'll give it back to you next day. How would you feel? He's like, oh, I understand what you're saying. I'm like, okay, then you understand what I'm saying, so give me my money back then. Simple as that, right? There are no rules or regulations in Options XO that not get your money back. At any time you can withdraw. I'm like, why are you not honoring your company's rules? Every time I made any withdrawal requests, a couple of days later my withdrawal request would be canceled. And this pissed me off even more. I would call back and be like, John, why are my withdrawals being canceled? Why would you cancel them? He's like, no, it's not me, it's the computer. I'm like, the computer doesn't know how to cancel it. You guys are behind it. You guys have access to my account. You guys are the ones canceling it. I know it's you. Who else would it be?
And he was quiet again?
He had nothing to say. Oh no, it's not us. Believe me, it's not me. I'm not working on your account. I'm the CEO. I don't have really time to work on your account. I'm telling you, it's not me, and that's why there's an issue with the system. That's why you need to give us until end of February until we return your money, so we can remove all that bonus money. I can't just remove it altogether. It takes time. It's a technical issue that we're having with the system. Customer service on January 25th, customer care manager Celine Carley emails me to tell me that my withdrawal request has been approved and it would be processed by the end of February.
Okay.
At this point, I'm emailing back, Celine. She's like, and this is all by email, and she's very nice for the most part. And I got to talk to her. But let me just read, some of these emails to you. She's like, normally it doesn't take this long, but in your case, because of the bonuses, it does. It's not easy from our side to cancel the bonus like that systematically. I understand that you feel it's not fair to you, but I cannot know what you have been speaking with the broker. I cannot know what was the deal between you and them. The bonus is there now. That's all I have clearance to see in your account. I don't know the details. I'm trying to help you. And you'll get the money back by the end of February. At this point, I call her. I'm like, Celine, where are you from? Because you sound Turkish, and your name sounds very Turkish.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, I'm Turkish. I'm like, yeah, I tell her, please help me out. I know how to speak Turkish. I've lived in Turkey for a couple of years. Don't cheat me on this. I've dealt with 4 representatives. I do not want to talk to one more person. Tell John Swift not to call me ever again. You're the customer care manager. You seem to be handling my account to return my money. You're the only person I want to call from, and you're the only person I want to speak to. It's like, I promise I will not tell anybody else to call you. And that was true. I did not talk to anybody else except for her.
Okay.
One day I called the customer service to speak to Celine, and the customer service is like, Celine is busy in a meeting. I'll tell her to give you a call back. I'm like, okay. And then at this point I asked, I'm like, do you know who John Swift is?
Right.
The customer care. She's like, yeah, I know who John Swift is. I'm like, do you know what his role in the company is? And she said that he's a account a brokerage. I'm like, he's not the CEO of the company, is he? She's like, no, he's not the CEO of the company. I'm like, okay, thank you very much. Then why would he tell me he's the CEO of the company? He's like, I'm not really sure. These are all, evidence that I'm compiling. At this point, I've already lost all trust, but I'm just trying to play games with them, trying to find out more about all their lies. At the same time, I'm trying to stay patient and not cause any scene so that they don't block my account and Celine actually returns my money.
Okay.
Okay.
February 12th, I'm trying to just follow up with her and emailing her. I'm like, hey, you haven't returned my call. Please give me a call back. Please let me know what the status of the account is. I need to know. Keep me updated. She's like, you don't have to. She's like, sorry, I was away from the office. You don't have to worry. I know you want to talk with. I know you don't want to talk with anybody else, and that's why I haven't assigned you to any other brokers. I'm still working on it. As I told you, your money will be released by the end of February. You can see the process through your account in the platforms because it's processed and only in the back office. And it was around February 23 or 24th or 25th. She called me. She's like, I was able to release some of your money. I was like, okay, how much? She's like, I've released $1,200 US. Actually, let me see how much it was exactly. And I did get that back. I got close to $5,000 Canadian back in total. She's like, that's how much I was able to withdraw before the end of February. Let me just see how much.
This is shocking, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the whole process that they have come up with in order to get money from people. It's shocking.
And my question is it worth it? Is it really worth it losing your entire brand name over this?
For sure it's not. But I did this piece, I was so deep, I just wanted to get my money back.
So, sorry, just a thing. If they've done it to 100 people, that's, let's say, 40K times 100.
It's 4 million.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'm not saying that's a lot, but they
it's more than people. I'm sure they have, you know, I don't even know how many, but it's I would say it's more than 100, man, for sure.
No, but I'm saying that I'm trying to answer the question, right? If it's worth it, yes. I mean, you make a business, you make an easy 4 million in a way, and after 2 years operation, you stop, and then you take the million, and then you start again with another brand. They're not in it for the long run. They're in it for the short term, and from those 4 million, they might make $1 million net. So yeah, in a way, it's worth it for them.
Yeah, mathematically, you're right. If you can rebrand, right, and all these names, it's a victimless. Well, I won't say it's a victimless crime. Obviously, Omid is a live flesh and blood victim, but obviously the other side of the equation, people are actually making the money. They just rebrand their names. They rebrand right from their personal names, right? I mean, John Swift.
No, these are not them. These are all fake.
These are all fake. So obviously they'll rebrand, come up under another brokerage. I'm just surprised. I mean, the lengths, the extents that one would go through to do it. I mean, one needs to be just morally bankrupt, right? To do this, one has to have absolutely zero morals, and it sheds such a bad light on Israel. Because actually Israel has a lot of good financial innovation. It really does. It actually does. And these few bucket shops are giving the entire sector a bad name. So in total, you receive around 5,000 Canadian.
Yeah, it was around. So we're talking about around 2,000 pounds and close to 1,600 US.
Fine. Okay. All right.
Okay. And she's like, give me until end of February and I'll return the rest. I was like, okay. And I actually got that money back. I was refunded back into my credit cards.
Okay.
At this point, I trust her. I'm like, okay, yeah, she actually refunded, 5,000 Canadian. I have close to, I don't know, like 40,000 remaining that I need to get back.
Okay.
February finishes. February's done. Now we're in March 1st. I email her, hey Celine, it's March 1st. What happened? Can you give me a call?
Yeah.
No answer. Hey Celine, it's please stop delaying the process. I cannot take this anymore. This is all through emails. I had this has been a very stressful time for me. Please release my money. Please give me a call. No answer. Okay. I've been calling every single day a few times, recording every single call. And I've only put up so many on YouTube. I have so many other calls on my phone.
Right.
Yelling at the customer service, telling to, transfer me to Celine. I need to speak to her. I need my money back, this and that. On March 2nd, at 12 p.m. and I'm at this point I'm not even working at work.
Right, your
mind. I haven't been able to focus for the past 2 months at this point, because all my mind is focused on trying to get this money back, doing research, talking to people there and here, making comments on the internet, making calls.
Wow.
Checking the platform, my account, every 2 minutes. It takes time, and I can't really focus on work.
And Omid, can I ask you at this stage, obviously this had consumed your life, as you just said, your professional life. You were unable to focus.
My professional life. I lost over 15 pounds, man.
Okay. Okay.
I was very stressful. I could barely work. I tried to get as much as work as I could, I could do, because I still need to, finish my projects and whatnot. But
right.
For the most part, my life was, like you said, was consumed by this whole tragedy. And
may I ask, Omid, was it just you, or did you have kids or a family, or was it just you that you?
No, I don't have. It's just me. It's
okay.
Just, thank God, it's at this point. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay.
Yeah. So on March, we're almost there. We're pretty much done. So on March 2nd. On March 2nd at 12 p.m. my time, I logged in, and this is where I broke down. I see that my account is automatically being traded. It's on automatic trading. It's taking trades, and it loses on purpose. And the ones that were making profit, the platform was canceling the trades on purpose, and when you cancel it, you lose your money. So it was pretty much auto trading my account to zero. Everything. Wow. Like I look at the account and it looks like somebody else, somebody was, from the other end, I guess from Options XO. They, like I said, they do have access to my account. From the other end, they were just making trades, just random trades, 30-second trades, 1-minute trades. The ones that were losing, well, they lost after a minute. The ones that were profiting, they would cancel the trade before any profits. Before the time expired, so I would lose that money as well, until eventually both accounts were down to zero. I call.
How long did how long did this process take to take the account down to zero?
About an hour. About 45 to an hour. 45 minutes to an hour.
So in 45 minutes to an hour, both your accounts went from that total that you had, around 45k, let's say Canadian, to zero.
Zero, both accounts.
And do you have that, sorry to be asking, but do you have that like on video or anything just being traded? Do you have screenshots?
I have screenshots of all the history of all the trades. So I took a screenshot of all the trades that were made within that period of time, and the trade and the screenshot shows, that it was for a 30-second long period, and that it was canceled, and how much the return was, if there was any return, how much the loss was, if there was any loss. It tells you everything: the asset, the type, if short-term, order time, order number, target price, how much was invested, expiry price, expiry time, expiry type, return. It tells you everything.
Omid, one moment, please. This is really disturbing. So obviously they attached it to an auto trader, but a selective auto trader, just so that the viewers understand that obviously it was monitoring that when it's about to win, when it has 1 or 2 seconds left and it's in the green, cancel the trade, capital goes to zero. It's about to lose, let it move. Okay, so you're basically looking at a win rate of 10% or zero. Actually, so it's 100. It's a unique
0%.
0%. So, and I'm sorry, but I have to ask, what underlying technology platform is Options XO? Because obviously this is something that they can. What is
Tech Financials?
Options XO is Tech Financials.
Right now, today's Tech Financials. I don't know what it was back then.
Okay, this is so Tech Financials is listed in London. They power 24 Option, which is one of the largest brokers, and they power Top Option, right, which is their own brand, I believe.
I don't remember.
It's one of the two. So this is eerie. So this is a Tech Financials, and now the question is, and I'm hoping that a listed company doesn't allow this. But in fairness, brokers like this, they change their platform provider from time to time for whatever reason. So a broker may be Spot Option one moment, they may be Tech Financials a year later. So right now it seems Options XO is Tech Financials, but maybe at that time they were another platform. Fine. The reason I'm saying is because, there are legitimate platform providers, but there are also scam platform providers, the lesser known ones, that will give account managers a capability to turn on these auto traders that would trade your account to zero. And it looks like this is what happened here. So you woke up one day, you logged in, and suddenly you were seeing your money, your capital literally erode before your very eyes.
Exactly. And I don't know what were the chances of me logging in at that point when the trades were occurring, because it had started like literally 5 minutes before I logged in on that same day that I logged in. So I mean, I witnessed it. I witnessed it. It was pretty heartbreaking. I actually cried. I was actually crying because at this point I knew I wasn't going to get my money back, because all my money was being blown away. So I called the customer service, and I was yelling at the customer. I'm like, connect me to John Swift immediately. I need to speak to him. I can't. And John Swift, he actually gave me a call back literally a minute later. He's like, Omid, what's going on? I'm like, you tell me what's going on. At this point I'm yelling at him. I'm like, swearing at him. I'm like, you tell me what's going on. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you guys doing this to people? Why are you trading my account? Stop it right now. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, my account is on auto trading. It's trading all my money away. He's like, I'm not sure what auto trading is. I don't know what you're referring to. I've never had any auto, and I told him, like, I've never seen auto trading before. Why is it auto trading all of a sudden 2 days after you guys are supposed to refund all my money? How come it's never ever auto traded within that 10-month period that I've been dealing with you guys? And then out of anywhere, what is this a coincidence that it just auto traded all my money 2 days after I'm supposed to get my money back? You know, at this point, there was nothing I can do. What else is there for me to do? Nothing. My account was close to zero.
What did John reply to you when you said this to him?
He's like, let me look into this. I can't stop it. Let me look into this. I promise I'll give you a call back. And he actually gave me a call back. He's like, it's on auto trading. I'm like, I fucking told you that. I'm like, I told you that it's on auto trading. He's like, did you enable auto trading? I'm like, there is no such thing as auto trading option available on the website, on the platform. What are you talking about? I've never made any trades in the past 2 months. I've been waiting on you guys. He's like, well, auto trading is on, and you must have either asked for it or enabled it on the website. I'm like, look at the website. I'm like, if you are the CEO of the company, you should know that there is no auto option available, auto trading option available on the website, on the platform. And I haven't spoken to anyone about auto trading. Why would I do an auto trading when I'm specifically asking you to refund my money? Does that make any sense to you? He's like, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying that you might have asked for it. I'm like, no, I haven't. And all my money is, you know, being blown away right now. At this point, I think it was almost done. My money was almost, you know, blown away to zero. I believe that was the last conversation I ever had with him. There was nothing else that I could have done. I mean, what am I going to call him about? Give me my money back? There was nothing left on the account. There was nothing for me to really brag about, right? So this is when I immediately called my, you know, credit card companies, and I told them about the entire situation. I told them, this is what happened. This is what I just witnessed about half an hour ago. And my credit card companies told me to, you know, write a statement of encounter about what happened, tell us the entire story, and we'll look into it and see if we can do a chargeback.
And what did they say? What actually happened?
They told me to write a report as to what happened, to see, and they'll investigate it to see if they can do a chargeback. Unfortunately, you know, after months of dealing with my bank and the ombudsman of my bank, they refused the case. And I was actually working close with Phoenix Advisors. I don't know if you've heard of them.
We have not, no. Were they?
Phoenix Advisors, they contacted me through Forex Peace Army. I'm still dealing with them because one of my cases has not been closed yet. It's still being investigated at the ombudsman office of my credit card. Because I invested from 2 credit cards. But one of them rejected it. One of them is still under investigation. And Phoenix Advisors, they found me on Forex Peace Army.
Yeah.
They're legal advisors that help you try to win your money back. And if they do, you a small percentage. I have not given them any upfront fees, so I technically don't lose anything working along with them. So I was like, why not? Whatever. So they wrote all my letters, all my statement of encounters, everything that my banks requested. They were the ones providing all that information to my banks. For the most part, I mean, they were helpful, but nothing. I haven't got any results from it. And here we are today. I'm talking to you guys. So.
Okay, and once you went live with all of this on Forex Peace Army, did OptionsXO come out to you and say, listen, we'll pay you something? Because sometimes brokerages...
No, they did not. No, they did not. They told me to remove everything that you have from Forex Peace Army. This is, stop making, you know, false accusations. You are ruining your brand. You should not do this. It's very unfair. I'm like, no, I'm not being unfair. You guys are being unfair. This is what it comes to when you guys are refusing to give me my money back. This is what happens when someone is trying to refuse to give someone else's money back. They go out there and they complain. They write bad reviews about OptionsXO. if you guys are honest with your customers, if you guys are honest with your clients, then you would get nothing but good reviews. You would get nothing but 4.5 and 5 stars out of 5s. No one would give you 1 star out of 5. So you're the one at fault, not me. So you can fix this by refunding my money. And obviously they didn't. They didn't really listen to me. But
so
yeah.
And that's it. So early March is the last when you heard back from them. It's been a few months. No, just complete radio silence from their side?
Complete radio silence from them. And this is when I released the YouTube videos, and I was more involved with Forest Peace Army, trying to recruit other people to at least, you know, find a lawyer that can build a case against them. No one was really up for it. I don't know why. Maybe they were just hesitant. Other people who have lost with options at sale, but I'm still pursuing this. I won't until I try to at least get my money back.
I had just a few questions, Omid. Firstly, at some point when you were at your nadir, where there was this radio silence and you saw the money being auto traded to zero, how real was it that you literally had no money for grocery shopping? I mean, you mentioned that in one of your videos. Had you become destitute financially because of this, or was your job at least paying your monthly bills?
No, I mean, I wasn't in a bad shape, right? I mean, I maxed out one of my credit cards, and I almost maxed out one of my other credit cards, but I would still be able to pay them back every month. I wasn't in a financial disparity, right? But for the most part, you know, losing $48,000, 10,000, close to 14,000 of my own money,
yeah, and
the rest from credit cards was a really big hit so early in my life. And I'm still paying back monthly payments on both of my credit cards every month. That's money that I could have avoided, and that money could be saved. So for sure, I'm not. You know, I'm still enjoying life. I'm still going out, but I'm very careful with my money now because I'll have a lot more expenses every month. I have two extra credit cards I gotta pay back, besides my student loan, besides my rent, besides my car payment, besides my insurance, besides my groceries. Now I have an extra $48,000 gone, and of that $14,000 Canadian was my money. So close to, you know, $33,000 is extra debt added to my life. So yes, of course it's a big toll on my life, and it's difficult. What can I say? I mean, I'm not going to go back to something like this, right?
That's very difficult. We're very sorry to hear that. A question: Are things okay with your job right now, with your work?
Oh yeah, things are okay at work, yeah, for sure. I mean, work didn't find out about this. I would never tell them about it, right?
And no, I agreed, but now are you able to like perform again and all is good now? Is back to normal?
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, I can perform at work, but once in a while, you know, it just hits me again, because when I think about it, it just comes back to my mind, right? And it just bothers me so much that I've made such a huge mistake so early in my life. And sometimes I think to myself, and I try to stay optimistic. I'm like, well, you know what? I made a huge mistake, but at least it wasn't down the road when I have kids and wife. At least now I've made this huge mistake while I'm alone and I'm still a single person, and I can deal with it and I can make up with it. At the end of the day, it's just money. Money goes, money comes around, money goes. But you know, I try to stay optimistic, and I say this stuff to myself, but at the same time, I'm like, no, this is very, very difficult for me. You know, like I speak to myself. I'm like, you know, I try to stay optimistic. I talk to myself, try to think positive, but sometimes the negativity just comes out, and it just destroys all my positive feelings because it's just so hard not to think about it.
Yeah.